Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. If you are new around here, every single day at 1 p.m. UK time, we drop an update just like this one to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets. And that's what these updates are all about, kind of synthesizing the broader markets with the cryptocurrency markets and trying to give people our understanding of where we think the markets are going. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be starting off the video by looking at a tweet from the perhaps infamous Capo in regards to what he thinks has happened this year, specifically in relation to the rally that we've seen, looking at how he believes it's largely been manipulated by Binance. He puts forward some evidence for it. We are going to start the video off there. We're not approaching this with any kind of shade on the individual. I appreciate and admire anybody who's willing to stick their neck on the line and make calls on the markets publicly. And of course, being something you do publicly, you are going to get stick for it. And this individual has got a lot of stick over the past year. Not from us. Like I say, we have admiration for people that try and speculate on the markets publicly, certainly with large accounts. You know, a lot rides on it. Then we're going to look at, obviously, in relation to that tweet, what has happened 2 days ago with Tether now minting another $1 billion. There is a huge correlation that I will show you guys with the market cap of the likes of Tether, which is the largest stablecoin in the entire space, and Bitcoin. There is definitely a direct correlation there, and I do think that Capo has a point. However, it's not the sole reason why we believe Bitcoin has done what it's done and the market has generally done what it's done. If you look at the stock market and you correlate all these, if you look at rates, you know, there's a whole broader picture of why we've been bullish on the markets this year, and it's not just down to Tether and them printing, although undoubtedly this is one of perhaps many factors. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to look at others' dominance. This is altcoin dominance, which we expect a full-blown alt season in 2024. In fact, we think it's already kicked off and you're really going to get an acceleration of that. We're going to look at this from a technical point of view. You do have a little bit of sort of general or macro market data coming out today with the United States PMIs. We will take a look at that. Then we're going to be going on to presidential election cycles and seeing what happens in an election year. So you guys will know our view on the market is that and this is fundamentally the only place really we've disagreed with the bears is the timing of when a crash happens. We don't think a crash happens until later on, i.e. 2024. 2025, we've been very right on that thus far. Maybe it will come early. We don't, you know, there's no guarantee that it won't, even though we think it won't. But actually, if we look at the election cycles, this is yet another component and factor to our broader thesis on the markets. It's backed up by rates, macros, micros, technicals, fundamentals, and everything in between. And also, we'll finish the video off on a little bit of Bitcoin halvening cycles. It's remarkable how the halvenings are playing out in regards to the halvening, when it takes place, and how the market, or certainly Bitcoin, generally the broader market actually for crypto, reacts to that. So a lot to get in, guys. As I just stated at the start, let's dive into the infamous Capo. Now, this has probably been one of the most bearish accounts for Bitcoin, consistently citing that this is just a bear market rally. And of course, he's largely capitulated or perhaps even doubling down with his tweet on what he thinks has happened. Let's take a read because it's quite interesting. We'll also look, related to this news, at what Tether did 2 days ago. And actually, just to start the video off, you know, we have stated that really what happened with CZ, that the main crime that CZ was guilty of, I think there was some perhaps unintentional technicalities that they've caught him on from his behalf, or some naivety on his behalf. But really, I think they want CZ out the way so they can approve a Bitcoin spot ETF because they're claiming the SEC that Bitcoin is manipulated, and this is one reason they haven't approved it. Nonsensical, really, because they allow people to speculate on futures that don't have to be backed by the underlying assets. You could say that they're more unsafe, potentially, than, or more untransparent. Well, no, not untransparent, unsafe. I don't know what word you'd use there, than the actual spot ETF. So we know they wanted to get rid of CZ because the main crime I believe he's guilty of is not being controlled by the United States. Of course, they want to clear the floor for their own players like BlackRock and all these others to step in and you know, have the lion's share of this space and ultimately benefit them. And actually, this tweet kind of crosses over into that and what we've been saying. So my thesis during this year has been that the move from the lows has been a bear market rally, mostly manipulated by the same people in order to make everyone believe the bull market has already started. So we do believe, you guys will remember our call we'll come on to other dominance in a second, was on the 5th of January, round about 16K Bitcoin, when we said, look, fundamentally, we're looking at technical reasons why this market might change. And then during the course of the year, we've really compiled, I believe, a very convincing argument to why the bull is here and why we were right on that initial call. Altcoin's been a little bit choppy, but we're getting there now, guys. And ultimately, we are expecting a real alt season that's technically backed. The truth is coming to light by little. The CFTC, which is responsible for commodities in the United States, already alleged this back in March 2023. You can see he's posted the document there. And now the DOJ, Department of Justice, is going to have access to Binance's books via Monitor and will be able to verify this. Sometimes we can't control or predict when or where they will decide to manipulate the market, but I remain true to my analysis and to what I see day after day, regardless of all adversaries. It's not easy to keep cool mind and try and be objective when the situation is so extreme and emotions try to cloud your judgment. It's all there, but sometimes reality can be harsh. So he's still claiming this is a bear market rally and that this is going to lead to new lows. We fundamentally disagree, not to throw shade on the individual. I actually, again, admire his conviction and boldness to be saying this really against, there are still a lot of bears out there, but people are more turning bullish now, and he's largely going against the grain here. And what he's citing, which aligns with our theory that they just want CZ out the way so that instead of maybe Binance is a big factor in Bitcoin's price, BlackRock, their own agent, is going to be that. And we have looked at this. So he's looking, of course, at the Treasury and BUSD. Of course, we know earlier in the year they actually went after BUSD and Paxos and CZ. To all his credit, we like CZ. We think it's very sad what's happened to him. I think he's an amazing entrepreneur and a real success story. But you can see through BUSD, whenever BUSD was essentially printed, came into existence, minted is what we say, Bitcoin's price went up. And you can see this is TUSD at Binance, similar thing. And of course, you can see there is absolutely a correlation with the volume backs up, and price action and timing really aligns with. You can see here again, whether you like it or not, whether you want to look away or not, this is what has happened all year, not only with USDT, but also with BUSD, so on and so forth. He is bringing up a very good point here. Operate the Binance platform. Zhao is the direct or indirect owner of entities that have engaged in proprietary trading activities on the Binance platform, including so on and so forth. So he's saying that basically he's been wrong because Binance have been manipulating the market. Now, just the other day, Tether on Tron, I believe, and Tron seems to be the preferred stablecoin platform. If you look at, for example, Binance sending that $3.9 billion, it was all done on Tron. Very interesting that Tron's become the kind of preferred stablecoin mover, and maybe it plays a bigger role in the crypto space as a result. But you can see here that this is the Tether Treasury. I would say it's not so much, let's do USDT market cap. So if you look at USDT market cap, and this is very interesting, and we're going to put this on a line chart. And if you look at Bitcoin's price, let's put this on log, and let's take this off of log to make this a little bit more clear, guys. You can see the correlation. So there is absolutely a correlation with Tether minting stable coins that are the predominant source of liquidity in the crypto space, and Bitcoin's price. So Capo's kind of right in what he's saying, but of course, if you've been watching this channel, we've given a whole list of other reasons, and this is a factor, of course, for why it is that Bitcoin's doing so well and the market was likely to do well. We've not looked at this. If you look at the broad picture, for example, we've been really stressing the dollar. And if you look at Bitcoin and you look at other risk, so we'll put this on log, they all move up together. So, of course, money is a mover of markets. It's not the sole reason, you know, and one reason that we champion technical analysis so much is because we genuinely believe it's the footprints in the sand. When you're looking at a chart, you know, dollar up, risk down, dollar down, so on and so forth. When you're looking at a chart, you're really just looking at actors involved in that market, and it will give you the footprints. And we spotted those footprints regardless of any of this prior to, you know, the rally essentially, which we assess is far more than just a bull market rally. And bears seem to double down, even though having been wrong. And eventually, if you stay bearish for long enough, you could say bearish till 2020, end of 2024, 2025, and you may be right. So moving on to sort of a little bit of data today. In fact, we'll just finish that point. So they've minted another $1 billion. And if you look at Bitcoin, it's doing quite well. And of course, there is a correlation there. It supports Bitcoin. This is a bull by all accounts. And look at the wicks on this. This is a strong market. You had pretty bad news, or what would have been sort of deemed horrific news back in the bear market, and really caused a big reaction in the markets to the downside of Binance and everything that's gone on there. You know, one of the biggest actors, probably the biggest actor in the space, has essentially been prosecuted and came out guilty of a number of things. So this is going to keep going. You're going to take a rest. Our opinion, everything is set. We have been looking at others' dominance, which is going to dictate, in our opinion, a alt season. Smaller head and shoulders target got met. We had a pullback perfectly at the neckline. I don't think you're going to get much of a right shoulder before this sets up for broader and higher continuation. That's likely going to occur back end of this year into 2024, which is going to be a real alt season. Remember, we've looked at historical correlation between rates for the S&P, for gold, and then we've cross-analyzed that with Bitcoin, which is an uptrend against them, suggesting Bitcoin's going to outperform, and they're going to do well as it is. Today, you do have flash PMIs coming out. Also on the broad macro, and another reason to compile that we've only recently started looking at to be bullish is it's a presidential election year next year. Historically, the markets do well under those contexts, under that context. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to do guaranteed 100%, but it's likely they're not going to allow a crash in the markets. They're going to appease voters during that year, and the markets are going to do well up until probably after the election, which aligns with our lagging theory and thesis on rates and how that will go. And also to compile that, you have Tether. Sorry, not Tether. Let's move away from Tether. Let's put Tether to one side. We have the halvening cycle, which we have analyzed in great detail. BLX, I think, is the Brave New Liquid Coin Index. We've done all the homework and everything on this, and we've compiled, I believe, a very good argument over the past 11 months now of why we're bullish. We've been validated in lots of ways, and it's very nice to see further validation from sources that are now just popping up confirm that. So we do think Capo has a very good point in regards to market manipulation, but it's no different to what happens in the traditional markets, and you can see this very clearly illustrated by the Dixie, its strength. You know, you can look at balance sheets, you can look at liquidity generally. You know, it's the same story across the board. It's no different. And actually, yes, highlighting it and saying that that is a contributing factor to why the price has gone up, I think is relevant. But as a technical analyzer, as a market analyzer, you should be able to spot this and be on the right side of it, regardless of where the reasoning or the fundamentals to why the market is going up. Technically, you should be able to spot that. And we've done that. Many people haven't. They will warm up to it. In our opinion, this is absolutely not a bear market rally. This is the start of a broader trend. We're getting that from a number of different sources: macro, micro, technicals, crypto, and everything in between. On that note, guys, I'm going to live and leave you to your Fridays. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all over the weekend. And I hope everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving yesterday had a good Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.